Reminder that fatphobia is rooted in racism. As always, if you haven't read this book, go do that. The main thing to understand is that for the last 300-ish years, white folks have been marketing fatness as a black trait, and this is regardless of whether or not black people individually were actually fat. That was irrelevant. The message they spread was that black women specifically were ravenous and uncontrollable, and these barbaric traits made them fat. On the flip side, thinness was marketed as a white trait. Again, regardless of whether or not individual white people were actually thin, that was irrelevant. The idea was that white women specifically were refined and restrained, and this led them to having delicate, thin bodies. Over the years, these messages have become more subtle, but even today, they are still very prevalent in conversations around race, health, capitalism, and poverty.
Yo-yo and hello, my name is Lydia, and on today's episode of my 25-pound yo-yo, we will be talking about fat phobia and its roots in racism. But you know what else has its roots in racism? Racism. But more specifically, skin color-based discrimination. You see, both body size-based discrimination and skin color-based discrimination are rooted in racism. Yet, one has found a way to come to terms with both its social and scientific truths. There's actually a lot more overlap with these two issues than you might think. So why don't we watch this next clip and come back and discuss.
Not that long ago, white women did not want to be associated with black women. This included distancing themselves from their physical traits of skin color and body size. The motivation at the time for sun protection and food restriction was racist. Science later discovered that tanning and obesity are bad for your health, and thus doctors began to encourage sun protection and weight loss. Then the environment changed. It became easier to consume highly processed high-calorie foods, and the sun's UV index was climbing to new levels. Medical advice then changed to include UV indexes as part of weather forecasts, with advice on how to avoid the sun when necessary. More awareness was also being brought to the public about the dangers of obesity and how it can affect your quality of life. With the environment change, businesses started to spring up to capitalize on the issues. Sun creams, UV protection in cosmetics, and sunwear, just to name a few. And of course, the diet industry is full of pills, potions, and programs to help you get trim quick. Now, people wear sun protection for their health, not because it's racist. And it's fine. So, why can't people say obesity isn't healthy without it being fatphobic? Or worse yet, kinda racist? Because that's the point, right? Telling people that something has its roots in racism implies that it's kinda racist without you actually having to say it.
So let's start at the beginning. The roots of fat phobia are said to be racist. Now, I'm not going to debate this. I am sure there are lots of other roots out there that are not racist when it comes to fat phobia, but for the sake of this argument, let's just say that the roots of fat phobia are racist. Why does that matter? I'm not saying that to be callous and insensitive. I'm just asking, why does it matter? Because if the message that we're sending now is not racist, why does it matter what the roots were? And I say this because protecting our skin from the sun used to be incredibly racist. If you look at the old ads, it was all about protecting your skin and keeping its porcelain complexion, peaches and cream skin, scrub away the tan, the dirt, the ugliness. It was incredibly racist. Women did not want to have any darkness on them because it was associated with blackness, which was considered to be dirty and poor and disgusting. Yet, we have overcome this and are able to wear sunscreen without it being racist. Yes, the motivations for thinness might have been racist in the past, but learning about how obesity is harmful to our health has changed the messaging so that we are no longer saying that being obese is disgusting and gross and ugly. We are saying it is unhealthy, just like too much sun is not good for us. I also question why it's so important that fat phobia has to be true to its roots, but fat acceptance does not. Because fat acceptance is rooted in fat fetishization. And I don't see any fat acceptance posts that are all about supporting men and their desires to date fat women or find fat women sexy. Yet, hashtag fat acceptance is used everywhere. So I question, why does one need to stay true to its roots and the other does not? Good things can also come from bad places or be discovered by accident. Take penicillin, for example. Penicillin was discovered from a moldy sandwich. Now, if we were to find the backstory about that moldy sandwich, maybe we were to uncover that Alexander Fleming left his dishes out and expected his wife to clean them up, and that might have been a sexist move on his part. So would that mean that the discovery of penicillin is rooted in sexism, therefore we should not use penicillin? The women in the early 1900s that were protecting their skin from the sun were doing it with racist motives. But women today that wear sunscreen and sun hats that don't want to get skin cancer are not. We have made huge scientific discoveries about the ill effects of obesity. We know it's linked to cancers and heart disease and diabetes and poor joint health. We know this. Why can't we acknowledge the scientific truth without having to make it a social issue? The environment has also changed on both of these fronts. The sun is so much more powerful than it was before. I can feel it myself. I used to play outside all the time and not have any problems with the sun, but now I peel. The sun is harsher than it was before. I need to take more steps. I need to make sure I wear a hat and wear sunscreen because the environment is different. It's easier to get burned. Likewise, it is also easier to get fat. We have processed foods everywhere and they're cheap and accessible. We also have food delivery services everywhere, so you can get your hands on poor quality food both cheaply and quickly. The ease in which we can acquire both sunburns and obesity has not changed the fact that both getting burnt and being fat are unhealthy. There also are ways to fake it if you must. If you want to have tan skin, you can get spray tan. And if you want to have more curves, you can wear padded bras or padded pants or any other sort of shapewear. So there are alternatives to achieving an aesthetic that don't jeopardize your health. What we also seem to have been able to learn as a society is nuance, where a bit of spray tan is okay, but doing blackface, well, that's insensitive and disrespectful and racist. Yet there seems to be no nuance on the fat acceptance side. It's either you're fatphobic or you're not. You can't guard your health and not want to be fat without being labeled as fatphobic, yet you can protect your skin so that you don't tan without being racist. And there could be the same nuance with body size, where padded bras and padded pants are okay, but a fat suit is crossing the line and it's too much. I can understand that. But this whole rhetoric about any sort of intentional weight loss being fatphobic, even if it's for your health, just seems ridiculous. And now for the final piece, and that is, why is it that we say that things are rooted in racism? Well, it's so that we can call people racist without actually having to say it. It's so that we can make statements like, well, it's kind of racist, or it seems a little bit similar to racist, or, you have to acknowledge a lot of the similarities, or, those thoughts are rooted in racism. It's just a cheeky way of calling someone a racist without actually having to say it. That is the only reason why we're saying that fatphobia is rooted in racism. If protecting yourself from the sun is not racist, and promoting fat acceptance is not promoting fat fetishization, then saying obesity is not healthy is neither fatphobic nor racist. But alas, this is my 25-pound yo-yo, and not the roots of fatphobia are racist and so are you. So until next time, yo-yo, and let's go.